Welcome to the Masters Vitality and Aging. We are glad that you joined us. We will tell you a lot about the program of the Masters and about the modules. But what is important is that you can ask us questions. And I will show you how you can do that. You see on the screen two tabs, Live and the Q&A tab. And in the Live tab, there you can answer our questions. And in the chat, the Q&A tab, you can ask your questions and we will answer them during the presentation. But before we start, I think that it's nice to have a visual impression what's like to study vitality and aging. So let's have a look, let's watch this short video first.
And I think you have to do one more click.
This was, that gave you a bit of an idea. Welcome again. I think it's nice to introduce ourselves. And first of all, I would like to know who are you? And you can use the Live tab, as I told you before. And please write down your background and where are you from. And then in the meantime, we will introduce ourselves. So my name is Carla Bakker. I'm module coordinator and staff member of the Masters Vitality and Aging. My background is I'm a physiotherapist and I studied biomedical sciences. After I have finished my PhD research, I changed from research to policy and I worked in the health research policy. And now I'm working for the Masters Vitality and Aging. And next to me is Iri.
Yes, I am Iri Timmer. And I'm the junior lecturer for the part-time students. Before I did as a bachelor health and life sciences. And I also did the master vitality and aging myself. And at the moment I'm the junior lecturer for the part-time students, and this means that I give the working groups and that I guide the students throughout the 2 years that they follow this master. And I'm also working on creating the part-time master, because this is a really new type of program that we give to the students. And now I'm curious, Eline, can you tell us something
Of
about
course, yes. Well, welcome. My name is Eline Haarhuis. I'm a first year part-time student, so that means I just started quite recently, only a couple months ago. And I have a background in health sciences, and I'm really enjoying the master so far.
Great. And where are you from, Irin?
At the moment, I live in Amsterdam. So I travel through Leiden not every day, but 2 or 3 times a week. And that's really easy because in Amsterdam you have a lot of train stations and you can come quite easily to Leiden. So that's no problem if you want to study in Leiden.
Yeah, and the LUMC is next to the station, Leiden Station.
Indeed.
So
Yes.
that's easy. And Eline, where are you from?
Well, the same for me. I also live in Amsterdam.
Okay, and I'm from Voorschoten. It's really a small village near Leiden. Well, I see some backgrounds on the screen: health and life sciences, psychology, movement science, and physiotherapy, biomedical sciences. So that's nice because that shows that you have different backgrounds. And well, it's a bit like in the classroom now, I think. Eline, is there also the same that you have different backgrounds?
Yes, definitely. We have a lot of diversity in my class, at least. We have also physiotherapists. We have people who study psychology, medicine, health sciences. So it's really diverse, and we have a lot of different backgrounds.
And it is also a difference that because you do 2 masters, but there are also students that work and combine it with this masters.
Correct. Yes, we have quite a few people who are working part-time and then doing this master program as well. So they combine this together.
That's very nice. Yeah, because from the masters we strive to different backgrounds because we think that's really important to have that in the classroom. And actually, there are many backgrounds, and also from different countries. I think you have also different countries.
Yes, we have a lot of international students as well. Quite a few Dutch people, but we have people from Greece, from Spain, from South Africa, and also just from Amsterdam. So that's a really great mix.
Okay, that's very nice. And you are from Nijmegen, I see, in The Hague, so from the Netherlands. So the Netherlands is also in the classroom, of course. Okay, let's have a look. We go on to the next slide. We'd like to give you some master details of this Vitality and Aging part-time program. It is a 2-year Master of Science program, so you do exactly the same content as in the full-time masters, but you do it in 2 years. So it's 60 ECTS points. The location is in Leiden and we do it online. Language is English. We have no selection, no maximum of students. And the starting date and deadline applications are when you want to start in February, that's still possible. You can apply before the 15th of November. And when you want to start in September 2023, you can apply till 15th of May.
And what's maybe also important to mention is it is a new program, a 2-year master program. And we decided to create this program to also give people who are already working, to give them the opportunity to follow a master and to gain some more in-depth information in vitality and aging. So that's, I think, also an important thing to mention about this part-time program.
Yeah, that's great, because what they learn, they actually can apply it directly in their work. So that's really nice. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Well, some characteristics. We work with small groups, with working groups of 12 to 15 students. And within these working groups, we have smaller teams of 3-4 students, and they work together on assignments during the week and then present it for the whole working group. The focus is on knowledge and skills development. That's really important to tell you, that half the time you are also busy with skills development. What you learn, of course, is applicable in the care for older individuals, but also applicable in general in healthcare. And there is room during the master's program to follow your personal interest. And we will point that when we tell you more about the modules.
Yeah.
We will show you where you can follow your personal interests. Well, here you see an overview of the program, and you see, well, on the left is the start of the academic year, so that's September, and you see on the top is the first year, and on the bottom is the second year, because the program is in 2 years. And then you see the main modules in green, in yellow, and in pink, red. The green one is the biology of vitality and aging. That is one of the 3 main modules. You do that from September on till February, and the organization of the Aging Society is from February till the summer. And the second year, you do the older individual. You start with that module, and then in February, you continue with the last part of the program, and that is your internship. That is the science and career part. What you can also see is that there are 3 educational lines: the communication in science, academic development, and research and evidence, and that is throughout the year, and it's integrated with the modules. And one example, and we will tell you more about it, is the communication in science. During biology, you learn how to write a scientific paper. During organization of an aging society, you learn how to write a policy paper, and in the older individual, for instance, you learn how to present it by video. So different ways, and it is integrated in the module.
And again, I have a small thing to add.
Yeah, do that, please.
Because this is the program for next year, but this year, like Elina, has started with the older individual.
Yeah.
Because we try to combine the cohorts. So this year, they started with the older individual, and the next course will be Organization of the Aging Society. So in older individual, Elina is now working together with the part-time students who started last year. Yeah. So if you start this year with this master's program, you will join Elina in BVA, so in the Biology of Vitality and Aging course. So that's also something nice, that you work together with different cohorts that already have a different experience.
Yeah,
Great.
Definitely.
Great, let's have a look. Well, here you see the week overview of the current year. So you can listen at recordings of lectures during the week. That's on demand. And on Fridays, then there is class at the LUMC on campus. And you have skills training, mentoring, presentations, and lectures. So that is what we think we will do that for next year as well. So on Fridays, it's on campus, and the other days you can have a look at the lectures on demand. And it is a joint program. So like Iris said already, that it's joined with different cohorts following the part-time program. It's also joined with the full-time students during the debates, during presentations, excursions, and of course the graduation. You see this nice picture of a graduation. So that will be together with the full-time. So the full-time master is 40 hours a week, and the part-time master is 2 years, 20 hours a week on average. Okay, I think I pass it on to Iri,
Yes.
and she will tell more about the modules.
Yes, I will tell you something more about the content of the master, because we gave you a lot of details about all the organizational things. But what are you going to learn? If you start in September, we will first start with the course Biology of Vitality and Aging. And this is a course where we will dive in the biological aging, and we will look at the hallmarks of aging. There are several hallmarks of aging that influence our aging. So we will look at DNA, telomere shortening, and all those kind of things. And the course coordinator of BVA always tries to find really interesting lecturers. So he has a lot of context, and therefore there are also lectures from internationally known researchers. So we always invite the whole building here in Leiden to come to those lectures because they are really interesting. And after you gain the knowledge of the hallmarks of aging, you will do an exam. So the course is divided in more or less 2 parts. You will do the exam, and after the exam, we will celebrate that you hopefully passed the exam, and then we will have a study trip to Cologne. And in the next slide, I will tell you a little bit more about that study trip because the students just went to Cologne. After these first weeks, we have some other topics, and those topics are the interventions to enhance vitality and entrepreneurship in aging. And these topics are more to give you an insight how to do research in the biology of vitality and aging and how to come up with interventions. And at the end, you will close the module with a scientific essay on your own topic. And this is something that Carla mentioned earlier. This is your own interest. So you can really come up with something you think it's interesting. So there's the space for your personal interests. The study trip to Cologne. We went this year to the Max Planck Institute. That's an institute for research. It's basic research in model organisms. And we also went to another research institute where they are more specialized in clinical research. And of course, when we are in Cologne, there's also room for some drinks and to get to know your fellow students better. So the students really like to go to Cologne, and luckily we could go this year again. So Carla, did you enjoy the trip?
Yes, I did. Yes, it was really interesting, both biological and clinical aging research together in 2 days, and also to have fun together. It was really a nice trip. Yeah.
So if you start in September, you will also go on this trip together with the full-time students. So that would be really nice. And then you will go on to the organization of the Aging Society. And this is a course where you will dive in the Dutch healthcare system, but you will also look into international healthcare systems to see where we can improve and what's maybe better or worse in other countries. So there are lots of challenges nowadays in the healthcare systems to improve. So it's a really interesting course. And there will be again a study trip to the European Parliament in Brussels. So this year we will also go there again. So that's really nice to go on study trips again after the years that we couldn't. And this is almost always a course that the students don't know anything about. So it's for everybody interesting to dive in this new knowledge. You will do a written exam at the end of the course, and you will write a policy brief. And in this policy brief, you will look at the Dutch healthcare system and an international healthcare system to implement something of the international healthcare system in the Dutch system. So again, this is of your own interest. You can think of your own topic. And then the last big course, the older individual, it's also divided in 2 parts. And the first part is more a knowledge part. It will go about concepts of vitality and aging, so the diversity in older persons, common diseases, self-management, cultural perspectives on aging. So it's more on the individual. So how do older people cope with diseases? It's a really interesting course, and you will meet a lot of older persons. You will talk with them, and maybe Elina, can you shortly tell us something about meeting older persons?
Oh, yes. I think we saw them quite a few times already. We had the interviews with them about being them as a informal caregiver, which was really interesting. I remember that I had an interview with a man, and he had his daughter and his wife passed away, so it was quite emotional. But after the interview, I gained a lot more insight and about how he experienced it. So really about what you already said about on the individual level. So that was, I think, really interesting. And I think we also had an interview with the elderly more about the vitality part. So how do they stay positive and vital and active? So yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, so you will meet the older persons quite often. The first part of older individual, you will close that off with a written exam, and then we will go on to the fun part in the second part, because you will think of a challenge for older individuals, and you will come up with an innovation. And this innovation will be described in a written paper, but you will also create a video. And you do that together with the older persons again. So we really work with co-creation. And we do this so you don't think of the older people, but together with the older people. So that's really nice. Then the line education. As Carla already mentioned, we try to give you some new insights and to give you a lot of new content information, but we also want to improve and develop your skills. So therefore, throughout the big courses, BVA, Older Individual, and Organization of an Aging Society, you will also work on communication in science, academic development, and research and evidence. And also science and career, because at the end you have to do an internship. And to improve your skills and professional development, we work with interviews with older people. We do cooperation and leadership. So there's a leadership game when you do Organization of the Aging Society. We do some debates. This afternoon, the full-time students have their first debate, so that's really exciting on biology of vitality and aging topics. And you will also gain lots of new skills in presenting and writing, because you have to do often a presentation, and as I already mentioned, you have to write essay exams, but also papers on products you think of. And in the end, all these skills and professional training will help you to do a really nice research in your internship period. Then I will give the word to Elina.
Thank you, Eri. Well, as I already mentioned, my name is Elina, and I'm a first-year part-time student. Let's start with a little bit more about me. This is a beautiful building of the campus where I did my bachelor's. It's in Wageningen. I did a bachelor's in health sciences and a focus on food and health. Then I finished with that and I moved to Amsterdam, and this is a picture of, as you might can tell, of rowing. I love being active and to work out, so I usually, you can find me on the river, on the Amstel River, quite a few times per week. And I also study psychology, so this brings me right to the next topic, because why did I choose for VNA? Well, what I really like is that you can do the part-time program. And because I'm doing a double studies, this is perfect match for me. And we have other students who do a double study as well. But as already mentioned, we have quite a lot of people who are working. So I think it's great that the part-time program exists for people like me, or if you're in the work field already. And why I also chose for VNA is that I really like the diversity, and not just because you focus on biological and social courses, but we also have a really diverse group a lot of international students. We have different lecturers, so from the social facilities, but also more from the medicine facilities. So it all comes together, and I find that very interesting. And so far, yeah, it's been great. We just finished the first part of the older individual with an exam. It was difficult, but we'll see how that went. And I'm excited for the next part. We're going to focus now more on the research, and I really like to grow more into that, so I'm excited for that as well. And I also applied for the student ambassador role. So if you have any kind of questions about the master's program or student life in general, just don't hesitate to reach out to me.
Great.
Give it back to you.
And I
Okay,
think there's now
that's-
some room for questions
Yes. Let's have a look whether there are
that we
questions.
can answer.
I have small children. Are there current students that have the same situation, and how do they experience it? Well, Iri, you have them in the classroom.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
lots of children, I think. Yes, please.
Yeah, and I know especially there is one student who has a small kid. So at first she was doubting, can I do this? But in the end, you have to be in Leiden on Fridays. So then you have lectures or working groups, or we do a mentor session. So that's really a day where you have to find some childcare. But the other days you are free to watch the recordings in your own time. So if you want to do that early in the morning, you can do that, or late in the evening. You can create your own schedule. So only the Friday is fixed. You have to plan your life maybe a little bit more, but I think it's really feasible to do this part-time master with a small kid.
Yeah, and we have examples as well in the full-time program that students with children, that they follow the full-time program and they manage as well. So it's doable. I think in a part-time program you really can combine it. The next question, Jana, do you do the assignments in teams or individually? Well, I think you do both, but
Yes.
can you tell a bit about it, Alina?
Yes, well, yeah, we do both. You can sometimes sign up for a group project with people you would like to work with. Sometimes the teachers decide who are you going to be in a team with. So yeah, it really depends, and I think both are really nice. Yeah, it's nice to work together with different people, and also because we have all different related health backgrounds, you learn different things. So if I work, I just had a work group with a dietitian, a physiotherapist, psychologist. So everybody has a different kind of perspective, and that makes it very, very interesting.
Yeah, that's great that you mentioned that, because we really like that you work with different perspectives on an issue.
Yeah.
Because later when you finish the masters, then you have to work, well, actually some of you work already, and then you work with different disciplines on an issue or a challenge, and you practice that during the masters.
Definitely.
Do we have more questions? Okay, I think we continue. Let's have a look. Is that, yeah,
You can go
okay.
first.
Science and
It's
career.
your part.
Yes, it's my part. It's science and career. Well, that's the last part of the program, and there you do your internship. And actually, you will do a research and you will write a thesis. And you can choose the topic of this research and the location yourself. It's a period of 20 weeks part-time. Or you can choose, some do that, they choose a full-time period of 10 weeks. So you do your own research. You can do it in or outside the LUMC, in the Netherlands or abroad. It's really up to you. And it's really nice because you can build up your network and you can choose to specialize in a certain direction. For the ones that do a master in medicine, you can combine the wetenschapsstage with this internship. So that's possible. And on the slide, you can see some examples. So for the biology of vitality and aging topic, some students did that at the LUMC, but there was also were 2 students that went to Nagasaki, Japan. Most of the students choose an internship on all the individual topics, so you can see some examples here as well. And the student in Seoul, I spoke her this morning. She will return to the Netherlands tomorrow.
Oh,
She had a great time there, and so that's possible. She chose it herself. She wanted to go there, and she organized it, and we help you with this organization, and really she had a nice time. And on organization of an aging society, there are also different possibilities. There was an internship in Norway.
Yes, I will
Sifa
tell
did
something
that.
about
you tell
that.
it. That's
great. I will tell something about the internship of Sifra, and I think I can go to a nice picture. She went to Norway, to Bergen, and she did an internship on activities in Norwegian nursing homes for people with dementia. And especially she looked at the association between pain and neuropsychiatric symptoms and activity. So these are a lot of difficult words, but in a bit more easy words, she looked whether pain in dementia people, whether those people are still doing activities. So it was a quantitative research. She arranged this research by herself with help of Carla. So if you have an idea, I want to go to this country or I want to go to this organization, you can really arrange that by yourself with lots of help of Carla, because she also has a lot of connections. And Sifra had a really good experience in Norway because she had great supervision and guidance. They helped her a lot. It was as well an amazing country because Norway, I have never been there, but if I see the pictures like this, it's beautiful. And luckily she had also some spare time to travel around in Norway. So yeah, she really enjoyed her time there and she misses the place. So she really much recommends to go to Norway. And yeah, she did her internship there, so we have now connections. So if you want to go there,
keep it in mind now.
Ask Carla or...
yeah, sure.
So yeah, a really good experience. And hereafter, I will tell you something about my own internship. And this is a totally different internship than the internship in Norway. This was also a qualitative research. I did it at the LUMC. And it was about relating self-perceived functioning to ADL and EADL questionnaires in older patients after their hip fracture. ADL and EADL is activities of daily living. Why I did this internship is because I did my essay in BVA about hip fractures. So the teacher looked at my essay and said, okay, Iri, are you interested in hip fractures? I know a PhD student who does her PhD research on hip fractures. So I got in contact with her, we talked about it, and she said, okay, I wanted to try qualitative research. Can you help me with that? And do you like that? Well, I said yes. I like to do that. So I did a lot of interviews. Unfortunately, I had to do them on the phone because Corona started. But it was really nice to do the interviews, to talk to the older people and to also analyze those interviews. At the moment, the article is accepted in Age and Aging, and I'm the second author.
You did a great job.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's also a really good opportunity to first publish a research of your own or together with a PhD students, and to maybe go on in your further research career if you want to.
Yeah, and I can add to that for the ones that work and want to combine the internship with work. That is also possible because when you're working, you have you experience a lot of questions, and we can have a look whether those questions are perhaps that you can translate them to research. And then you can do that research on topics that are in your mind already. So, and perhaps do it at the organization where you work, or a colleague, or how do you call it, an organization that you collaborate with. That's also possible to think of. Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of opportunities and possibilities in the weeks that you have to do your internship.
Okay, yeah, possibilities after the Vitality and Aging. Well, you do this program, and what we see is that the types of jobs that the students choose after they have finished the program, well, 1/3 they do a policy kind of job. So, for instance, the example is there, the trainee at the Ministry of Health, Welfare and Sports, or a quality staff member in a nursing home organization or consultancy. You see also 1/3 is doing a PhD research or is a junior researcher. So PhD trajectories from biology to older individual topics to policy. And you see the students that continue with their medical career, and they are equipped with this master's, and you see that they are really developed already in their personal development. They are, I think, far ahead with the students that did not do the master and went straight on in the internships, the medical internships. So it really it's helpful. And it is also that you see that also back in when they choose the Master of Medicine, their specialization. So when they choose to be a doctor in a nursing home, for instance, you see that they really continue this interest. Yeah, and here you see some examples of possibilities after the Vitality and Aging Masters. Well, Sifra, she is a junior researcher at the LUMC. Tom, he is working in the strategy and business as a strategy and business developer at Zilveren Kruis. That is an insurance company, health insurance. And Ishara, she is an advisor care innovator at a nursing home in the Netherlands. So really different kind of topics, and it's really great to see how everybody finds a job. And really nice to tell you that the students find a job in 3 to 6 months. So and very different jobs. So that's no doubts that it will be okay. Then just a little bit about the admission requirements. You can find a lot of information about the requirements on the website. You can find information for the freely admissible Dutch bachelors, for the other Dutch bachelors, information for the University of Applied Sciences diplomas, and for the non-Dutch backgrounds. And I give you just a little bit of information. This is a long list with freely admissible bachelors, and so you can subscribe, and you are fine. And when your bachelor is not on this list, don't worry, because then you just subscribe, and the admission board will have a look at your experience in biology, your experience with older individuals or in policy, and they will have a look at whether you have experience and knowledge in methodology research. So then there's a closer look and perhaps an interview, but the list is long. Have a look at it on the website. So for all other backgrounds are already set. The Board of Admissions will evaluate your submission, and they will look at your background and your experience. For the University of Applied Science, the same is the case, but they will also have a look at your English level. So perhaps you are asked to do an English test when you have done the VWO, so that's the high school in the Netherlands. When you have a VWO level, then it's fine, then your English is fine, otherwise then you have to do a test. And they will do an interview. when you have a deficiency in one of the modules, in biology or in methodology research, then there are bridging modules, and you can do those bridging modules, and that is 28 hours. It's 1 ECTS points, and a bridging module on biology or the methodology research. And then you can have already worked on this deficiency, and then you can start with the same level as others. For the ones that have a non-Dutch diploma, there is also the Board of Admissions will have a look at your background experience and your English, and will have an interview with you. So there are exceptional circumstances for the ones that will start in February. So then you, when you have a deficiency of 15 points in your bachelor, then you can be accepted. That is for the students with a freely admissible background. But then you have to complete your bachelor before the 1st of September. Have a look at it on the website. So, application, well, you can apply till the 15th of November, so 5 days left, so hurry up. That's for the EER students, so then you can start in February, register in StudyLink, and for the ones that will want to start in September, you have to apply before the 15th of May in StudyLink. So please don't forget this deadline, because otherwise you have to wait another half year. For all the international students, the application deadline is the 1st of April, because that's all about the organization of visa. So please register on StudyLink in time, and then we really hope to see you in September or in February. But when you think, well, I need some more orientation, some more information, we organize Experience Day on the 1st of December at the LUMC, and you can register via a link on the website. You can also join the Student for a Day, and Elina will organize it. So you can join her at the LUMC and just experience how it is to be a student for a day, and be at the working groups and listen at lectures and meet the students. Talk to those students, so that is really a great opportunity to get more information and more experience. Another experience is on the 31st of January. That will be online and in the evening, so for the ones that are working, that is really a good opportunity to join us there and register at the website. So you can find all this information on the website. Well, there's time for questions. Do we have some questions? Okay, let's have a look. Are there extra courses you can take if you do not have a biological? That's a good question. So that's what I pointed out, Marike. You can do this bridging module, and then you have the opportunity to work on this deficiency. So that's an extra course. And for the ones that, well, the students manage when they have not a biological background, when they do this bridging module, and they work hard during the module, it's possible it's doable. So they pass the exam. And for the ones that think it's really hard, then there are tutor classes organized. So the ones that are really thinking, oh, this is really a tough job, then we bring them together with a tutor, and they work on the biological background to help you to pass the exam.
Yes.
And I think we can already answer the question of Else immediately after the courses for biological background. We don't have a pre-master, so to be admitted in the master, if you have a freely admissible bachelor background, you are freely admissible. If you don't, you are going to our board of admission and you will have an interview. So if they think after that interview, okay, you missed some knowledge, we will give you the bridging modules, you can do the modules, and after that we can decide again, okay, do you have sufficient knowledge to start the master? So there is no pre-master, but we will decide after the interviews whether you can start with this master's program. But don't be afraid, because if you did a bachelor or an applied science bachelor, is it the correct word?
That's the correct word.
Then I think you will you can start this master's program.
Yeah, but
Right.
the admission board will ask you to do this bridging module, and when you have finished it, then they have an interview with you just to hear what is your experience with it. Was it doable? So they will have a closer look how you manage to do this bridging module, and that gives an idea how you will manage the module itself. So that's how it works. And how is the workload experienced is Jana, and also I see at the bottom, how is it to combine two masters? Can you perhaps the workload and two masters?
Well, I think the key is to make a really, really good planning. Because I'm doing the Masters of Vitality and Aging part-time, so that's, let's say, 20 hours a week. And I do my other psychology is 40 hours. So in total, it's maybe a bit more than an average study week, but I chose for this and I'm motivated, and I think as long as you have that motivation and you have a goal, that's what I have in mind, then I think it's doable. But you have to make a really good planning. That's the key, I think. But I think it's doable, and I would like to combine my two master theses, but that will be a bit from now.
Exactly, then we have a talk together. How can you combine those internships? And I think that it's possible.
Yes, so. I think so too.
Yeah, and there was one question. It was there was about I'm interested in trauma.
It's still here.
Oh, it's still here.
I would like to do something with
trauma and aging. Yeah, I like it. I always like when you have an idea and then we have a talk about it. What is exactly your interest and what kind of research would you like to do? That's for the internship, but of course during when you have to write a paper, you can also choose a topic on trauma and aging. So there are different possibilities during the program to follow your interest. So that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, correctly, we are able to plan for ourselves when to watch the lectures online. Yes, that's really true. Can you tell a bit about the lectures online?
Yeah. For every course, we create a module book. So in the module book, you can find all the information that is necessary for the course you are following. And in that module book, we will give you guidance when to watch which lecture, because at the end of the week on Fridays we give working groups and you need some preparation before the working group. So we always give you a list like okay, watch these 3 lectures before this working groups. But you can decide on your own if you want to watch those lectures all on Monday evening or that you watch it on Thursday morning. So in that way, you can plan for yourself. But there is a kind of deadline before the working group, before the Friday, that you have to watch the lecture so you can you come to class prepared.
And then when you come prepared to the class, what happens then when you have seen all the lectures?
Well, I think it's really nice that you've created the module book, because then you are prepared and then you know, oh, okay, we're going to apply this kind of theory. Or, if we have an interview with older people, then you can apply also that kind of stuff into the interview. So if you come unprepared, you kind of miss all the other information on the Friday. So yeah, I would say that's really beneficial that you can plan it in your own time, and that you can plan for yourself when to watch with what kind of lectures, and when to read what kind of literature.
And then on Fridays you
Yeah.
go more in depth.
Yes,
I guess.
exactly. Yeah,
Yes.
sorry, I missed
Yeah.
that. Yeah, so you go more in depth, you apply everything, and you have the working groups, you have more lectures in real life, and you
and
apply everything.
And sometimes I can remember last year that there was also the possibility to speak to the course coordinator about the lectures and ask questions, and
Yeah.
then you go in depth yourself.
Yeah, and what is also really nice is that because we are with a small group, so the connection within the group is really nice. Everybody becomes friends, and the connection to the teachers or the lecturers is also, let's say, informal, because you would really approach them if you have any kind of questions. I'm never scared like, oh, Mr. Professor, can I ask you? You know, it's really it's really informal, and that makes it also really nice. If you are struggling, you can just ask every kind of question.
It's really nice that you add that, because from the teachers and from the staff we also experience that there is a little, well, we know everybody in a couple of weeks already.
A little family.
It's a kind of family during the 2 years, so we have a really nice time together.
Yeah, if you're used to like a Bachelor of Medicine, in those kind of bachelors you are a number, and here you are really a person, and we really want to help you, and we will think with you whenever there is a problem or you are facing some struggles. So I think that's also really nice to mention.
Definitely.
Okay. I don't know if there's no time for questions anymore. If you have questions and we didn't answer it, then you can also chat with Eline, with the student ambassador on the website, or visit our experience days or student for a day. So, or just mail us. Then we plan a Zoom, or we plan a meeting, or telephone. No, that's old. So we plan something to help you and to figure out what you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we have a last slide, I think.
Yes, we have.
That is another one. Yeah, so here's what I said. So you can chat with Eline, with the Unibody, or you can send her an email.
Yep.
You can plan a video call with the student or with the staff, and you can make an appointment for that. And also, when there are personal circumstances, don't hesitate. You can contact our study advisor, and the email is on the screen, and you can find all this information also on the website. So I think, thank you for joining us, and I hope this was of help for choosing the right master, the one that suits you, and we hope to see you, of course, in February or in September. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.